Today, I'm going to be showing you how you can flash your PineTime using the PineTime Flasher application. The PineTime flashing app can be downloaded from GitHub and a link will be provided in the description below. Click on the More Info tab to learn more about the application and what it can be used to flash your PineTime with. Click on Configure to configure your flashing options. When you run the program for the first time, make sure you download OpenOCD. Make sure you're connected to the internet, as this will download OpenOCD straight from the GitHub source. Now choose the appropriate firmware type. I'm going to be flashing the bootloader, so let me select the bootloader application. Since I'm just using the ST-Link to flash my PineTime, I'll leave it to the default. Now we have saved our configuration file and we can proceed to the flashing operation. Now take the bootloader firmware that you downloaded online and just drop it into the search bar. Now that everything is ready, you can go ahead and connect your ST-Link to your PineTime and your ST-Link to the computer and go ahead and click on the Start Flashing button. As you can see, the flashing of the PineTime was successful and now we can proceed to flash a different firmware type. Now go ahead and reconfigure your flashing options. This time we will be flashing the MCU Boot app. Go ahead and change your firmware type to MCU Boot app and go ahead and save your configurations again. Delete the old firmware path and now copy over the new firmware path for the MCU Boot application. You can now go ahead and flash the new firmware to the PineTime. If you encounter an error such as this, you can go ahead and see the logs of the OpenOCD executable, which will allow you to debug the application. Now, we seem to have a problem with the OpenOCD not being able to flash the PineTime. So let's close this log and retry again to see if we can find some other reason. So this time you can see that it says the PineTime is not being connected to the computer. So let's go ahead and reconnect it to the computer. After I connected it, I'm going to reflash again. And this time it has successfully flashed the firmware to the PineTime. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask in the comments or better ask in any of the platforms connected to the Pine64 PineTime channel. That could be Discord, Matrix, or Telegram. I hope this simple tutorial was useful in helping you flash your PineTime. I hope to see you in the next video.